How AI chatbots work. In the past, talking to a computer usually meant typing very specific commands. If the command was wrong, the computer simply did not understand. But modern AI chatbots are different. You can ask them questions, request explanations, brainstorm ideas, or even have long conversations. Sometimes the responses feel surprisingly natural. Which raises an interesting question. How does a machine actually hold a conversation? Is it understanding what you say? Is it searching a giant database for answers? Or is something else happening behind the scenes? Today we're going to walk through how AI chatbots actually work and why they can respond so smoothly to human language. Chapter 1. What an AI chatbot actually is. At a basic level, an AI chatbot is a program designed to generate text responses to user input. You type a message. The system analyzes it. Then it produces a reply. Early chatbots followed simple rules. If the user said a certain phrase, the system responded with a specific reply. This approach worked for simple tasks but failed quickly in real conversations. Modern chatbots are very different. They use large language models that can generate responses based on patterns learned from large amounts of text. This allows them to respond more flexibly to a wide range of questions and topics. Chapter 2. Training on large amounts of text. Modern AI chatbots are trained using enormous collections of text. Books, articles, websites, technical documents, conversations. During training, the system learns patterns in language. For example, it learns which words often appear together and how sentences are structured. It also learns how different types of questions are typically answered. Over time, the system becomes very good at predicting how text usually continues. This training process allows the model to generate responses that resemble natural human writing. Chapter 3. Predicting the next word. One of the most interesting things about AI chatbots is how they generate responses. At a technical level, the system is predicting one word at a time. When you ask a question, the model analyzes the text and predicts the most likely next word. Then it predicts the next one. And the next one after that. This continues until a complete response forms. Although the process happens word by word, it occurs extremely quickly. The result is a response that appears as a complete sentence or paragraph. In reality, it was built step by step in fractions of a second. Chapter 4. Understanding context. One of the major improvements in modern chatbots is the ability to understand context. Instead of treating each sentence separately, the system analyzes the conversation as a whole. This allows it to follow follow-up questions and maintain a consistent discussion. For example, if you ask about a historical event and then say, "What happened next?" the system can connect the second question to the first. This ability comes from models that track relationships between words and ideas across longer sections of text. It makes conversations feel much more natural. Chapter 5. Why responses sound so human. People often notice that AI chatbot responses sound surprisingly human. This happens because the model learned language patterns from human writing during training. It has seen millions of examples of explanations, conversations, and discussions. When generating responses, it draws on those patterns to produce text that resembles typical human communication. However, sounding human does not mean the system has thoughts or opinions. It simply means it has learned how human language usually works. Chapter 6. The role of neural networks. Behind these chatbots are systems called neural networks. Neural networks are mathematical models inspired loosely by how the brain processes information. They contain layers of connections that analyze patterns in data. During training, the system adjusts millions or even billions of internal parameters. These adjustments allow it to recognize complex patterns in language. While the underlying mathematics can be quite complicated, the basic idea is pattern recognition at an enormous scale. Chapter 7: Limitations of AI Chatbots. Despite their impressive abilities, AI chatbots are not perfect. They sometimes produce incorrect information. They may misunderstand unusual questions. And they can occasionally generate responses that sound confident even when the information is uncertain. This happens because the system is generating text based on learned patterns rather than verifying facts directly. In most cases, the responses are helpful and informative. But important information should still be verified with reliable sources. Chapter 8: Where chatbots are used today. AI chatbots are now used in many areas. Customer support systems often use them to answer common questions. Businesses use them to assist with writing and research. Students use them to help explain complex topics. Developers use them to assist with coding and problem solving. And many people simply use them as tools for learning or brainstorming ideas. As the technology continues improving, these systems will likely become even more integrated into everyday digital tools. To wrap up, AI chatbots generate responses using large language models trained on massive amounts of text. These systems learn patterns in language and use those patterns to predict words step by step when creating responses. Neural networks allow the models to recognize relationships between words and ideas. Modern chatbots also track conversational context so they can follow ongoing discussions. Although they can produce very natural-sounding text, they are still generating predictions rather than expressing real understanding. When used thoughtfully, they can be powerful tools for learning, writing, and exploring ideas. AI chatbots feel impressive because they combine advanced mathematics, massive training data, and powerful computing systems into something that feels simple to use. Behind the scenes, however, the technology is mostly about recognizing patterns in language and generating responses that follow those patterns. Understanding that process makes the technology less mysterious and a little easier to appreciate. This has been a mini Leviathan production. If you enjoyed it, check out our other videos. See you in the next one.